The afternoon sun was sinking low over the Kansas highway, painting the asphalt in streaks of golden shadow. Cars sped by, their engines roaring like distant thunder. Among them was 32-year-old Michael Turner, driving his old blue pickup, the windows rolled down to let in the autumn air. He was heading home after a long day fixing tractors at the local repair shop. Life for Michael had been quiet and predictable, maybe even a little lonely. He had no family left, at least. That's what he believed. As he drove, a flash of brown darted across the road. Tires screeched. Michael slammed the brakes, his heart leaping into his throat. A small dog, muddy trembling with matted fur, was frozen in the middle of the lane, staring at the oncoming traffic as if it couldn't move.
Ow.
Without thinking, Michael threw his truck into park and jumped out. Horns blared as he ran into the road, waving his arms to slow down the cars. He scooped the terrified dog into his arms just as a semi-truck blasted past. His heart pounded so hard it felt like it might burst. Back on the shoulder, Michael set the dog down gently. "Hey there, buddy," he murmured, rubbing its neck. The little golden retriever mix whimpered and licked his hand. A torn red collar hung from its neck, but there was no tag, no leash. The poor thing was shaking uncontrollably. Michael sighed. "You're lucky I saw you." He looked around for any sign of an owner. No car pulled over. No one searching the area. The dog's paws were raw, its fur caked in dirt, like it had been running for miles. Without much thought, Michael opened the passenger door and said, "Come on, let's get you cleaned up." The dog hesitated for a second, then jumped in, curling up on the seat. At home, Michael gave the dog a bath in his small kitchen sink, filling the room with splashes and wet paw prints. The dog seemed exhausted, barely lifting its head as Michael toweled it off. That's when he noticed something odd. Stitched inside the frayed collar was a small, folded piece of paper sealed in plastic. Curious, Michael carefully opened it. The handwriting inside was neat but faded. "If you find this dog, please take care of him. His name is Max. He belonged to my brother, Ryan Turner." Michael froze. Turner, the name hit him like a punch. Ryan Turner, his brother. The brother he hadn't seen in over 10 years. He sat down hard on the floor, the dog looking up at him with soft brown eyes. "Ryan?" he whispered. The name brought a rush of memories to boys growing up on their father's small farm. Playing in the fields, arguing over who would ride the old dirt bike first. Then came the fights after their parents died. Drian wanting to leave for the city, Michael wanting to stay. Angry words, silence, and then one day Ryan was gone. For years, Michael tried to find him. Calls went unanswered. Letters returned. Eventually, he gave up, assuming his brother didn't want to be found. And now, here was a dog, his dog with his name on a note. That night, Michael couldn't sleep. Max lay beside the couch, occasionally twitching in his dreams. Michael sat by the window, staring out at the quiet Kansas night, wondering if this was some kind of sign. What had happened to Ryan? Was he alive? Why would his dog be wandering miles away from anywhere? In the morning, Michael decided to find out. He took Max to the local vet to check for a microchip. The vet scanned the collar and looked up. There's an ID here, registered under a Ryan Turner in Wichita. Michael's heart jumped. "Do you have an address?" The vet hesitated. "I can't give that out, but I can contact him for you." Michael nodded. Tell him his brother found Max." 2 days passed with no call. Michael was starting to think it was another dead end. But then, one evening, his phone rang. A woman's voice came through. "Hi, is this Michael Turner?" "My name is Emily. I'm a nurse from Wichita General Hospital. You left a message about Ryan Turner?" Michael's stomach tightened. "Yes, he's my brother. Is he okay?" There was a long pause. "Ryan's been in our care for several months. He was in a car accident outside Wichita. He survived, but suffered memory loss. We've been trying to locate family." Michael felt the world tilt. "He's alive?" "Yes," Emily said softly. "He doesn't remember much, but he had one thing with him when we found him, a picture of 2 boys. One of them is you." Michael's throat closed. He gripped the phone like it was the only thing keeping him upright. "Can I see him?" That weekend, Michael drove to Wichita. The city felt huge and unfamiliar, filled with noise and people, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. He arrived at the hospital, hands trembling as he walked into the rehabilitation wing. A young nurse met him at the desk. It was Emily. "He's in the garden," she said kindly. "He likes to sit with the patients there." Michael followed her outside. The air smelled faintly of flowers and medicine. At the far end of the garden, under a tree, sat a man in a wheelchair. His hair was longer, streaked with gray. He looked thinner. Older, but there was something unmistakable in his face. "Ryan," Michael said quietly. The man turned. His eyes, once sharp and mischievous, were softer now, uncertain. "Do I know you?" Michael's voice broke. "Yeah, you do. I'm your brother." For a long moment Ryan just stared, and his eyes flickered with recognitions. Fragile, but real. "Mike," he whispered. Michael nodded, tears already falling. He crossed the garden and hugged his brother, the years of distance melting away. Ryan clung to him like someone afraid to let go. They sat together for hours. Michael told him everything. How he'd found Max on the highway. The note, the caller, the search. Ryan listened quietly, his hands trembling. "I don't remember much," he said finally. "But I remember Max. He was all I had after I left home." Michael smiled through his tears. "Well, he found me. Guess he's still bringing us back together." Over the next few weeks, Michael visited often. He brought Max each time, and the dog's reaction was proof of everything. He would wag his tail wildly, jump on Ryan's lap, lick his face as if no time had passed. Each visit seemed to bring back more pieces of Ryan's memory, their parents' laughter, the smell of hay in the barn, the sound of the river behind their old house. One afternoon, as the sun poured through the hospital window, Ryan turned to his brother. "I was scared to come back," he said quietly. "I thought you hated me." Michael shook his head. "Never hated you. Was just waiting for you to come home." When Ryan was finally discharged from the hospital, Michael brought him back to his house in the country. The first night, Ryan stood on the porch, looking out at the open fields. "I remember this," he said. "This kind of quiet." Michael handed him a beer. "Welcome home, little brother." They sat together watching Max chase fireflies in the yard. The golden dog bounding through the grass, tail wagging wildly. Months later, when autumn came around again, the brothers rebuilt what was left of their family farm. They'd fixed fences, repainted the barn, even started planting a new garden. Every morning, Ryan would throw a stick for Max, laughing like a kid again. The dog always ran back, tail wagging, eyes bright with love. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Ryan looked at his brother. "It's crazy, isn't it?" he said softly. "If you hadn't stopped that day, if you hadn't saved Max." Michael smiled. "I guess fate wanted us to find each other again." The fire crackled, crickets sang in the dark. And for the first time in over a decade, Michael felt whole again. Because sometimes life gives second chances in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes it takes a dog lost on a highway to lead you home. Thanks for watching our story today. If this video moved you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need a little hope. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that warm the heart. We'll see you next time.